Hey all, Sarah Jane. I finished my, well, at least the parts I didn't already know about, my process to get my band today, and I thought I would do a post about what you go through preparing for the lap band, because I see posts all the time on lap band talk, what's my psych eval going to be like, what's my nutritionist meeting going to be like. Everyone's different. So nobody, unless they've gone to your practice, can tell you exactly what it's going to be like. But I figured, you might feel better having an idea what you're going to go through. And I look totally washed out. It's like this awful gray day here. But having the blinds open just looked horrible. Anyway, okay, so my first consult, I went in and I didn't actually meet with my surgeon, which I think is kind of unusual, but I knew it going in. There's actually a husband and wife team in my office. He is the doc, and she is an APRN, and she does a lot of the pre-op stuff. You don't actually meet him until a couple weeks before surgery. In fact, I will meet him in 2 days. So I went in, and they did the standard. They weighed me, and they checked my height, and they did blood pressure. Just chatted with me a little bit about, what are my reasons, and they did an EKG. Those of you who've never had an EKG and know that you might have one, it's not scary at all. If you've ever seen like those clear post-it flag things, that's what I'm talking about. But those of you who haven't seen them, it's like a post-it but smaller. And they have you lay down and they stick like 8 of these things, I don't really know, on your chest. And then they clip onto them, and then they run this thing. It looks like an old dot matrix printer. I checked with my sister, who's a nurse. She said like max 2 minutes. I thought it was like a minute. They're not really looking for problems. They're just checking you out. So super quick, super easy. The only discomfort, if you want to call it that, was having little post-it notes taken off of you, and it literally, like, it was like having a post-it note. It really, it wasn't a problem. So then I had to call the dietitian and the psychiatrist, actually psychologist, he's a therapist. My practice does almost only bariatric surgery. I know that they do some other surgery on occasion, but I think it's more like you're already our patient, so we'll take care of your gallbladder kind of thing. So they work with a therapist and a dietitian that I actually went and met with them in the doctor's office. There's someone who I've met on Lap Band Talk, hi Tina, who had another doctor who practiced at the same hospital, met the same people in her doc's office. So yeah, I met with Chris. Chris is a therapist, and Diana. Diana is the dietitian. First meeting with dietitian, no big deal. We talked about the foods I kind of like to eat, when I ate, what my habits were like, and she gave me the instructions for torture diet. Torture diet is my folder of all kinds of fantastic things. Torture diet, also known as the protein-sparing modified fast/ketosis diet. Not the most fun thing in the world. Basically, for 5 days, I had to eat 3 ounces of meat 3 times a day. It could be meat, it could be chicken, it could be fish, didn't matter. But 3 ounces of meat 3 times a day, and 3 cups of chicken broth. And the first couple of days, chicken broth not so bad. After that, oh my god. Chicken bouillon's better than chicken broth. in case you have to do this. My saving grace on that, if anyone is given a diet like this, I pre-cooked everything and pre-portioned it, so there was no like, oh my god, I'll just have an extra ounce, it's okay, because I was starving. It was, I went into the freezer and here's my little baggie, and my husband picked on me. He's like, what will it be today, honey? I'm like, it's chicken. So that, that was 5 days of not so much fun. The first few days were hard. I wasn't sleeping because I was hungry, and when the weekend came, I took a sleeping pill and I slept, and it was much better. I think I slept for like 16 hours, which is bizarre, but still felt a whole lot better. Got through it. The whole point of the diet is to prove that you will do what they tell you to do, and you can follow instructions, and you have the willpower. So they go in on the 6th day and they test your urine and prove that you went into ketosis. And she's like, you're about as in ketosis as you can be. So pass the dietitian. The therapist, super simple too. I went in and it was weird. He gave me 2 bubble tests, and one was about my overall personality and one was about how I was feeling then. And like one of them was like, you know, that I tend to get upset easily. I feel like I'm entitled to more than I get. Lots of questions about I believe in God or I don't believe in God. I don't think it had anything to do with the test, though. As he explained to me, there's a lot of questions in there to make sure that you're paying attention. So if you have one of these tests, even if you think it's stupid, pay attention. And if you like answer one question one way and then they ask the same question but worded a little bit differently, but you know the answer should be the same and you answer different on the 2 different, you're probably going to get caught for not paying attention to the test. So took the test, no big deal. I think I was there for like 20 minutes or so, but I'm a fast test taker. And then I went back a week and a half later, the same day as I had my ketosis test, and we just talked a little bit about, you know, what's my eating problem. And honestly, not that I never snack. I mean, I love ice cream. and probably the hardest thing for me to give up is I make fantastic chocolate chip cookies, and I'm not going to be able to eat those anymore. But mostly it's hunger. It's my husband and I will sit down for a meal and we'll have the same size portion and he's full and I'm like, God, I'm starving. I need to have more. Which of course is what the band does. So hopefully it'll work well for me. So we just talked about things. It really wasn't a problem. They're trying to make sure that you can follow instructions, that you are relatively emotionally stable, and that you can take direction and feedback kind of thing. So it's really not that scary. It's really, they're not going to, some will talk about your history, but they're not really going to delve into, like, you know, when I was 5 years old, my mom dropped me on my head. They're not doing any of that. They just want to find out about who you are now. And when I was done, they gave me this fantastic packet, Weight Loss Surgery Success Kit. It's actually something that the 2 of them wrote and recorded. Chris did a CD and a little book, and Diana did a book with recipes and stuff. So this is my success kit. And then I had to go to a 2-hour informational thing, which had a lot of the information that's in the book, but apparently a lot of people don't bother to read the book. So they make you go to this 2-hour thing. They encouraged me to bring anyone I wanted with me. I invited my sister and my husband. My husband went. They talked about, it was actually pretty good. They talked about what was going to happen in the hospital. They talked about what kind of pain meds I would get, not, you know, the name of the pain meds, but like what was going to go in my IV and what I was going to take orally, and, you know, what I would eat and what discharge would be like, and, you know, the different kinds of things that I might wake up with on me. Not so much because I'm a bander, but gastric bypass, you can like need Jackson Pratt drains and stuff, and so they want people to be aware. So that wasn't really bad at all. Insurance, after that they submitted to insurance, although they told me that they would submit to insurance, and a week later I called and they hadn't submitted to insurance. So they're like, okay, well, what's going on? I called insurance. They were like, yep, we don't have anything. That was on a Tuesday. On a Thursday I got the call that I was approved. I know not every insurance company works that way. Apparently Oxford, which is what I have right now, it can be a pain in the ass because they don't cover my my prescriptions the way they should, but they will cover LapBand and like that approval. So I can't say that I have had any problems in that area.